back over here. And hey, at least it came up on Twitch. That's a
Well, that's
start. All right, you want to ping the chat room? Notes, Max. Yeah, so Heath, if you want to add
good. Yep. I'm sorry. What am I adding?
Dr. Gameology for next time.
Yep.
Mew, he's a content creator that's a psych researcher in the guild, and he has all the resources, he said, to organize, talk about them with the guild. Would you be interested in having me share my time in Final Fantasy XIV, his psych panels, Final Fantasy research findings, and the Gaming Persona podcast on the Guild podcast? So,
what was the name again? Dr.
Gameology. He's part of AIE, so I'll put it in there.
Cool.
Yeah. He just reached out and said, "Would you be interested?" I'm like, sure.
All right. You can see and hear us. Yeah, no, Kenny is not on the show tonight. She's an expert on falling off mountains. Also, 5 years ago yesterday, we made a bad decision while in Snowbird and hiked while there was still snow on the ground. And her and Elkarth got a really bad sunburn because they forgot to put the sunblock on. They had gotten right before we went hiking.
Yup.
Oh, awesome.
All right. Mew, let me know when you are ready.
Close enough.
Close enough? All right.
Yeah. Who's running this monkey show?
I am.
That's Tat.
Oh, speaking of hungry cats, guess who just decided to come up and say hi?
Dean.
Hello, baby.
Hi, Dean. Thought you were too hot and tired. You made it all the way upstairs to come say hi.
All right. Cool. Then we have sound, we have ears, we have test, we have black cat.
Baby. Oh. Well, we have 4 between the 3 of us.
Right, exactly. All right. Going in 5, 4, 3. On this episode of the AIE podcast.
When new content and Summer of Love collide.
Dang you, Blizzard. We have a Flashpoint news flash coming in fast.
AIE in ESO goes to 11.
Guild Wars 2 gets a little bit more balanced.
And, yeah, we're talking amongst ourselves.
All that and more coming up right now.
Bringing you the latest news from the AIE gaming community from planet Earth and beyond. This is the AIE podcast.
Welcome to episode 388 of the podcast celebrating you, the Alia Iacta Est gaming community, the Die Has Been podcast. This is Tetsemi, and to my right, and a couple states over, is Mewcow.
Greetings, guildies and FC mates.
And to my left and upstairs is Makala.
Folks, there's some fake scones in the guild kitchen, and I don't mean the cat.
Nope. Ooh. This week, we are having a host show. We're talking to ourselves. Welcome us. Yay!
Yay!
All right, we will be digging into what we've been up shortly, but first, let's cover this week's news.
AIE News.
All right.
And we'll start with community mandatory fun nights, where the fun is mandatory. Mandatory! But the attendance is not. So, you don't have to show up, but it'd be nice if you did. Sundays, we already had the 2 p.m. Eastern of WoW Classic happening. In about, 21 minutes. STO will be doing their mandatory fun night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And on Monday tomorrow, Guild Wars 2 at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Then on to Tuesday, SWOTOR is having their 9 p.m. Eastern mandatory fun night. Usually all kinds of crazy stuff going on there. They're a pretty big group. Then we're going to skip over to Thursday, where we have the Final Fantasy XIV Sprout Raid at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. max time. And then on Fridays, ESO 9 p.m. Eastern, where you can fall off mountains. And then on also on Friday, a little bit later, although sometimes earlier, depends. We have Final Fantasy 14 Mount Farming. It could be at 8 p.m. Eastern, could be at 10 p.m. Eastern. It's just whenever there's people that show up and say, "Hey, let's go get a mount." So
That
there you
sounds
go.
fun.
Yep. Saturday, Lord of the Rings Online, 8:30 p.m. Eastern has their mandatory fun nights. Also on Saturday, Final Fantasy 14 has Map Night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. I think they're doing the latest maps.
They're doing the level 90.
Yeah.
I don't know how
Beer
levels
skin.
work in games anymore.
Yeah. It's arbitrary at this point.
It is.
Yep. Then also a little later, Saturdays, New Braid in WoW at 11 p.m. Eastern. And that's about it. But there may be more coming. Who knows?
And I apologize to the note organizer. I forgot to actually drop in the Summer of Love schedule, so we're going to knock that out at the top of the show so people are paying attention and not losing it at the end. So, Summer
idea.
of Love. This is a rough draft for the dates upcoming, just so you can kind of plan them and set them aside. We'll get the formal announcement out and finalized. But starting August 2nd, which is a Tuesday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Math 6:30 p.m. Pacific. That will be the walk from each of the games, and I'm going to go through that in a minute. But this is the Remembrance Day walk for those that we have lost in the past year. In WoW, Gusty will be taking us from the Shrine of the Fallen Soldier to Booty Bay. That's retail. In Classic, Lucy will be taking us from the Shrine of the Fallen Soldier to the Gates of Orgrimmar. In Lord of the Rings, Mei Lung, adjusting the mandatory fun night from Monday to Friday, will conduct the ceremony at Bree Above the Bluff. In SOTOR, B. Kavanaugh will lead the walk on Alderaan. In ESO, Redrum / Ken will lead the walk at the Panther Fang Temple. STO Greebog meeting at Wolf 359 Memorial. In Guild Wars, Dahara will meet at Lion's Arch at the Memorial Wall. And Final Fantasy XIV, we will be meeting Abavan at the FC House. And possibly other games, so just keep an eye out on the Discord in the general channel, and we'll announce all the things. And that's the events. Basically, it's going to go from the 2nd through August 7th. Gusty is going to be in charge of the WoW coordination, so if you have suggestions and or fireworks, pets to give her, transmog run ideas, visit the other side, Horde and Alliance, since we're can now do a combined Horde and Alliance raid, all kinds of fun things in WoW. Also, we are going to be having D&D discussions. All sessions will be about 4 to 5 players. DP Roberts is going to lead one on Thursday, the 4th at 8 to 11. Palel is going to lead one Friday from 9 to 12 Eastern p.m. Duskmere is going to do Saturday, which is the 6th, from 7 to 10 Eastern, and Memnith is going to do Sunday from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern. Titles and other details to come.
Awesome. All right. And no, I'm not sitting here trying to get somebody to come on the show right before to talk about Summer of Love. No, I'm not really trying to live schedule people. Anyway, and in streaming and guild podcast news, SOTOR Escape podcast. We have player-made guild events coming up next week that uses macro binoculars, and seeker droids. You may have forgotten about them or have never had the chance to start those missions. And in Behind the Games podcast, the people that are the studio Behind the Games chat with Hector Padilla of IO Interactive. Many game studios are having a moment right now where they need to figure out scale and learn to be better, more professional companies. IO Interactive has figured this out with leaders like Hector Padilla, a people manager at IO. IO is the game studio that makes the Hitman series and soon to be the 007 games. Hector focuses on making teams work together while developing all these great titles. They talk here and inside. Ugh. They talk here about and inside views of IO Interactive and Hitman, how to run a studio with mature company, how to connect teams and people, and a little about how the future of gaming. So big thanks to Hector and IO. I'm sorry, that's IOI, isn't it? I can't
Yeah.
read.
I would say don't say IOI because that is
It's IO
that is-
Interactive.
IO Interactive.
Yeah.
There we
Yeah.
go. Thank
IOI
you
is the
very much.
evil corporation from Ready Player One.
Yes, exactly.
There we go. Oh, it is. Yeah, absolutely. All right. And in Working Class Nerds, just a reminder, Working Class Nerds is a not safe for work podcast, or for young ears for that point. Episode 158, The Multiverse of Feta Cheese.
Yes.
Marcus, Nick. All right, The Multiverse of Feta Cheese. Marcus and Nick discuss Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness with their great friend of the show, Joey Feta. Oh, that makes sense. Okay. The three of them indulge in their ridiculous sidebar conversations and even give a breakdown of the movie. Enjoy. Okay, I need to listen to that one. That sounds like a blast.
Yes. And in the Boards and Sword podcast, Battletech, Necromunda, Origins 2022, special guest Ken from Geekcraft. Apparently, BackerKit is making its own Kickstarter-like platform. Also, Magic the Gathering is 30 years old.
Yes, it absolutely is, because we were in a league like when the game came out. So yes,
I
that
know.
was absolutely 30 years ago.
Yep. In more recent news, see what you did there. Origins Game Fair was a few weeks ago, and Ken from Geekcraft is here to talk about it. In Star Trek Online Fleet Action Report, farming Marky Marks. In this episode of Fleet Action Report, Greebog and Nikitas are continuing to work on their budget builds for New Player Challenge. They run the mission for the Bajor Defense Deflector and then move on to Task Force operations for getting some marks.
Or a mark. And over in WoW news, WoW players are busy making to-do wish lists with the announcement that Shadowlands Season 4 will arrive August 2nd. And we've, of course, been waiting for that content for quite a while, But it's also maybe something else going on that week.
Yeah, please refer to earlier schedule.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe something we were planning for quite a while and weren't expecting them to swoop in. But, it happens. But hey, do content. Okay.
Yes.
Alliance raid team, Let's Go Skating. Let's Go Skating. Can't forget the first part.
Yep.
Is racing to down Heroic Jailer for ahead of the curve achievement. Go Slugs. There you go. While Gusty, Tail, and many others are running Mythic Plus dungeons to become Keystone Masters. AIE Virtus displaying their Waste Warped Death Walker, the Mythic Plus dungeon achievement mount. So if you check the show notes, we have a picture of them on their mounts. Looks pretty cool.
Yep.
Excellent. All right. And in classic news, one second, I'm going to see if I can't drop that into the... All right, I was trying to drop that picture into the
Oh, I got it.
channel. It
I'll
would
take
not
care
let
of
me.
it.
Thank you. All right. Wow,
Everyone.
classic. Wrath is coming closer. Surely the end of August or beginning of September. So we do have an influx of new players coming in to level the summer. As a reminder, to attract new players for hashtag 10 for Wrath, we're giving away 100 gold to any new player to make new skills, mounts, and leveling easier. Also, Blizzard has announced they'll be providing a 50% XP buff before and during the Wrath pre-event. No announced date for that to start yet, but keep an eye out for it.
Yeah, bring that to retail, Blizz, would you?
Yes, please. Sundays and Wednesdays are Dungeon Days at 9 to 11 Eastern Time, and where we all help each other run 5-man quests and things. They're working on getting a 10 to 70. They're working on getting 10 players to 70 so they can raid Karazhan and begin to get that 10 for Wrath synergy going. Our raid leader is Shrimpcleese, and they're always ready for new people to help run it for fun in the classics.
Yep. And in SOTOR news, Flashpoint Friday update for July. Normally these are on the first Friday of the month, but in July it will be on the 15th. We have operations teams running most nights of the week. If you want to try this type of larger group gameplay, just hop into Discord and ask about it. Our raid leaders are always on the lookout for permanent members and alternatives. MFNs continue to run on Tuesday nights. BC runs a mix of events, including operations, so there's always something fun to do. In many cases, your character can be any level as long as you have your personal ship so that we can summon you. No gear level or experience is required. Also, special for this Tuesday, July 5th, there will be an MFN treasure hunt in SOTOR. So check the SOTOR channel and AIE Discord for more info on what is planned.
And in Final Fantasy XIV news, we have all kinds of new content coming. This is some late breaking news that we kind of slapped in at the last second, but wanted to let you know. Recently, we had the new patch that had new Hildebrand story of all things. And also the news that it's likely that the Endwalker relic is going to be tied to Hildebrand, which has sparked all kinds of interesting discussion because, you're making us do optional content mandatory now. But it's kind of fun because they did this in the past. They made Crystal Tower mandatory when it used to be optional. They made the Rabanastre stuff mandatory if you wanted to do the Shadow Ringers relic. So it happens. They do it. It's it's good content though.
It is. It's fun as long as your tolerance for silliness is fairly high.
Yeah, and to give you guys a little bit of what is it behind baseball. They wouldn't have made this decision if their data didn't tell them that it was feasible. Either a great majority of people have Hildebrand done that would have cared about the relics, or could get it done if they care about the relics, that they feel comfortable enough saying, okay, we're going to tie this into the whole thing. Because you have to do the entire Hildebrand quest line to get to what they're talking about coming up soon. Yeah. So it's a great thing. It opens up new raids, new trials, I should say. So, you want to unlock those anyway. It gives you fun emotes, pets, and all kinds of other fun stuff.
A couple of dances.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely worth it. It's a lot of fun. It is. And this quest line is who we think when we do the impressive voice acting that they've been doing, like the character talking.
Yeah.
Like they learned how to mess with the models by doing Hildebrand quests.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
So the extreme, the extreme stuff they put Hildebrand through is testing to figure out for the regular game. So you have Hildebrand to thank. Also being continued is the Omega quest line from way back when, from Stormblood. It was that raid series, so they're continuing that. Also,
that's a good series.
Yes, actually about a month ago I finally finished it. And that was really, really good. And it unlocked things in the world as I did so. So it was kind of nice. In fact, I then went back to see there's a couple scenes in the main story quest that get changed if you had Omega done. So that was kind of neat.
Yep.
So you can go back to your little book in the inn and see that. Also, Tataru is up to something. I haven't figured out what that is, but apparently she's crafting things and selling them and, making money because she said she was going to. So I need to get on that. And also, apparently, you can craft with Emelians. And there's all kinds of stuff surrounding that we won't get into. But coming Tuesday, patch 6.18 will be deployed. They're going to have a huge 24-hour maintenance all throughout Monday, so I hope you have other plans. What this is going to enable is cross data center server visits. So for those of us that might have alts in other data centers that are not where AIE is, well, now we can have our characters visit and participate in all of the fun guild events. I actually have a raiding tune over on the Aether data center that I can actually have come over and help with things, so that'll make things a lot easier. But yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. Sorry to the Oceanic types, because they're not big enough to have cross data center yet, because there's not many there yet.
Yeah.
But everyone, like all of Europe gets to visit all their friends, all of Japan gets to visit all their friends on all the other servers, and all of the US. So it's kind of cool.
And just if I remember correctly, when you go visit a data center, it's not an instantaneous thing. It takes a half hour for your character to transfer, or am I thinking region transfer?
Maybe you're thinking region transfer.
Okay.
Because the whole point of the cross data center is that it's all physically in the same data center.
Okay, that's right.
So,
So yes, it's the region I was thinking about. Yeah.
yeah. That's if you want to do a region transfer. But yeah, no, this is just for cross data. Essentially, all you're doing is just logging into a server and it pulls your character data, and that's why it might take a little longer than a normal login. But
Right.
like we were already able to do in the same data, like same server.
Yeah.
Like you can on Crystal you can jump from Goblin to Coral to all
Right.
the other ones, but now you can do it across the whole data center. So I think they said it's when you log in, you tell I want to go to this data center with this character,
Right.
so that it starts the whole process as you're doing it. But they're still working on it. Like it's new tech. They got to figure it out. They got to get that old code going. Late August, we are getting patch 6.2. There's of course going to be more of the main story quest. There'll be more of the raid tier, which is easy for so many people to say.
Right.
Yeah, but that'll be fun to see more of the old gods, as it were. And not those old gods, different old gods. Not but
Different, yeah. Old, new, old. Got it.
oh, yeah, new old gods.
Yeah.
Yep. And a new tribe quest for gathering this time, which I believe is what do they call them? The Omicrons,
Yes.
I believe. Yeah. So they're gonna be the new tribal quest. No longer beast tribes,
Nope,
especially
tribal.
because now we're including robots.
Yeah.
I think they'd be like beast.
that
or not
one's
beast.
supposed to be the crafting one they're suspecting.
Well, they think it's gathering because it's where it is. It's got some unique stuff to gather.
Okay.
Like they wouldn't.
But it does
like
involve that spoiler bar, right?
are at the end of the universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Supposedly. But they have done more with less, so there's no telling what they're up to.
Yeah.
And of course, we got more details for Animal Crossing. I mean, Island Adventures.
I'm different. They're trying to hit your entire family there.
Pretty much, yeah. They said they're going to let our minions run free. So I know Aludra will be excited to hear about that. Also, they're going to let us farm on this island and do some animal rearing, which will be pretty interesting.
And it's free.
The island's huge. Yeah, it's free.
Great.
It just comes with it.
So getting into some animal husbandry.
Yeah, they showed they showed a map, and it was all pixelated
Yeah.
except a little sliver of the beach, and on there what looked like a pixel out on your monitor. They're like, yeah, that's a Hrothgar on the beach. Like,
Yeah.
oh god.
Yeah, like this place is going to be huge. Like,
Yeah.
and I know we're gonna lose people to it. Like they're just gonna be
I'm
like,
sure.
what game? What do you mean game? No, this is game now.
Yeah.
What do you mean map night? I've never heard of this map night.
Yeah, no. I've got some crops to farm. I'm busy. I'm sorry. But yeah, no, and I'm actually kind of hoping that they're gonna let us do some outdoor furnishings and whatnot, and maybe some
That'd be
indoor, like
cool.
to take care of the fact that no one can buy a house anymore.
Right.
Aren't they,
That'd be a good
did they make
compromise.
that adjustment, or when's that adjustment coming?
Well, yeah, I think it's coming. I think if it's not on Tuesday, it's probably going to be the 6.2.
Yeah, because they're
But-
pulling back the small plots from the FCs and giving them to the people, right?
Well, yeah, they're
Or
because
the wards. Sorry.
the wards. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the wards because they were like, okay, all this for FCs, huh? Not a lot of people getting FC houses. Interesting. Okay, well, I guess we need to dial it back a little.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's and it makes sense. There's only so many FCs out there, but there's tons of players wanting houses. So,
Yeah.
but that's just they're dealing with a symptom at that point. It's gonna
Right.
be yeah. But that's why I'm hoping that they'll let us do some house building on the island, because that would
Yeah.
probably solve the issue.
That'd be great. Yeah.
Yep. They also talked about a new type of dungeon called variant dungeons, criterion dungeons, and basically just making dungeons harder. It honestly kind of sounds like they're taking a page from WoW's Mythic Dungeon book, where they want to make dungeons a little bit more challenging for people that want that challenge.
Yeah. And this
So-
is like the first variant, the normal is limited resurrections, and then the second variant is no resurrections. You're dead. You're dead
Jeez.
in
Got
the
it. No
dungeon.
disintegrations. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the ultimate raids are going so well that
Mhm.
there's obviously an appetite for challenging content, so that's why they're bringing this in. Also, they're doing PvP Series 2 with new rewards and all kinds of fun stuff. That's been going really well. Like the new PvP setup has been really popular. I've been
Yeah.
pretty amazed at the staying power of it, because it used to be like PvP was an afterthought. Like you went there, you played long enough to get some marks for glamour, and then you were done. And now I'm actually seeing people there on a regular basis, which is pretty amazing.
Great.
Um, and of course, the biggest and most important news of it all is that they're doubling our glamour jesser size.
Thank God.
Excellent.
Yeah.
No more glamour
Okay.
plates, but now you have 800 slots as opposed to 400
Okay.
slots to store
Yes.
everything.
Yes.
I understand. Okay, I understand that problem.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I honestly wonder how big your closet is, seeing what you bring out
10
on
by
a daily
10,
It's a
basis.
10. It's a
That's fine.
10 by 10. It could double as someone's bedroom, small
Yeah.
guest room. Yeah.
That does not
Yeah.
surprise me. In fact, that seems too small to me, because I've
It
I've
is.
seen
Oh, it
the
is.
parade
This is a 10 by
of
10
stuff.
with an additional costume rack in the middle of it, and I get about
Jeez.
that much of it.
You get a you get
A 16.
what do you call?
Shoebox?
No, you get like an eighth.
And half a
Yes.
dresser. Anyway.
Yeah, and half a
Yes.
dresser. I get the other half of the dresser.
Yeah.
For
See,
those
that's
that may not
everything.
know, someone is really into bounding and likes to share her outfit creations in the real world. So
Yep.
By that we mean Disney bounding.
yes,
'Cause
Disney
that's a
bounding.
whole
Yes. Okay.
different
Yes, it is.
podcast. A
Wow.
whole different.
Where's your mind?
Oh, sure, mind.
Where's your mind? Anyway.
But yeah, she's basically doing the real world glamour dresser thing going on,
Yeah.
and so but yeah, no, it's been a struggle. Like oh, I have this new thing I want to put in my dresser. What do I take out?
Right, right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, because there's no oh, there's a sliver I can slip this thing in. No, you gotta take a thing out to put a thing in. But yeah, that's because I loved they gave us the new plates. It's like, yay, new plates! I can add maybe one because
Yeah.
I need more stuff.
Yep.
Right,
But,
right.
yeah. But yeah, that's all that's coming up. So we'll go ahead and detail some of the AIE specific news
Yes.
to remind you that AIE map nights are Saturdays, usually at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. It's still very popular, obviously, because you can make a lot of money and it's fun.
Yeah.
Like it's a very fun piece of content. You got to be level 90 though to do the latest stuff. You need to be able to access all of the zones, even the secret ones that you may not know about if you haven't finished the game. There's loot, all kinds of prizes, and of course, it's just fun. It's just like it's a fun content. It's not hard. It's got just enough of a challenge that you can't just blindly do stuff. I mean, I guess you could if you really wanted to, but you'd die. But it's honestly a lot of fun. The zone is just really well done. It's very exciting visually. It's just a lot of fun. They don't require you bring your own map, but if you do bring one, it just adds to the fun. They are using the Cumberskin of treasure maps, which is the level 90 8-man maps. There's a level 90 one-person map, so you want to make sure you bring the right one, because if you don't, then you're going on your own, and everyone's going to wave as you disappear off into your little port. If you're not level 90, they are doing non-90 map nights. Thanks to Saja, they have a group that will be doing other maps found within those previous expansions. You can check the Discord in the Final Fantasy XIV channel to confirm which level maps are being focused on that week. Also, much like the new raids in WoW, AIE has Sprout raids on Thursday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern. These raids will vary in levels. They're going to be going through all of the 24-player raids in each expansion so far. They've done Crystal Tower, which is level 50, I believe. Shadow of Mach, which is 60, because that's Heaven's Ward. And currently, they're working on the Dark Apocalypse raid series. Once that wraps up, they're going to do the new Endwalker Alliance raid, which is the raid you were talking
Yeah.
about, which is a lot of fun. And then they're going to start over at Crystal Tower and pick up all the level 50s again. So,
Yep.
it's a lot of fun.
All right. In ESO news, cool things that the guild has been doing. There's an event in the game right now that lets you earn reward boxes for looting and doing things in the group with guildmates. So this past Friday was spent roaming through Craiglorn killing all the world bosses. And they've been doing trials. They've bravely gone into 12-person content with about 10 to 11 people, so they go to 11. And they were successful in killing bosses and, of course, having fun. Though with that ESO group, I'm sure you are. And if you're interested in running dungeons for pledges, they have 2 dungeon groups that occasionally need someone to fill in. Check out the Undaunted Enclave channel of Discord for more information. And things that are coming up in the guild. Next Friday's Mandatory Fun Night will be spent once again killing world bosses as groups so they can earn more reward boxes during the event.
And just a reminder, there is an event going on right now that I think runs for like 12 days. We're in like day 3 of it. So there's stuff to do in the major cities. Log in, get tickets, and turn those in for stuff. So just keep an eye out for that. But in STO news, the Federation colony is still moving well towards Tier 5. KDF is closing in on Tier 3 of the Dilithium and has started Starbase work. Thursday night Fun Night is still happening. They start at 11 p.m. Eastern, and Fun Nights will be on Federation base, except for the 3rd Thursday of the month, which will then explore the Klingon Defense Force captains. And always, please catch Fleet Action Report on Mondays at 11 p.m. This Monday, they will be heading back to Risa as the summer event has started.
Time to go surfing. Alrighty, in Guild Wars 2 news, ArenaNet has just pushed a balance patch the other day. Lots of changes, so there is a good chance that your class receives some tender loving care from the devs. Raids now have an emboldened mode, which is similar to the buffs you get in WoW when you wipe on a boss. This buff will be active on one raid wing each week, and players have the option to disable it if they don't want it there. Strike gold rewards have been rebalanced to make them more, rewarding. Guild stuff is still the same as always, though. Mondays is the Mandatory Fun Nights, and they're doing dungeons and more. Also, still taking donations for the guild hall. I think they need some casks of ale
And some wine.
just money.
And beer.
Throw
Awesome.
money at them.
Yeah. All right. And in Lotro news, here's what's happening in Lotro for from July through September. Late July, update 33.1, further adventures of Aladdin and my
Words are hard.
lawyer. Words are hard.
Aladdin and El Rohir.
El Rohir, thank you. Treasure Bungan event. August is Farmer's Fair. Mid-August, Season 3 of the Legendary Item Reward Track. August 31st, Legendary World of Shadowfax allows access to the Far
Inorian?
and Waste region, and the level cap increases to 105. August 31st, shutdown of the Anor Legendary server. In September, we have coming up update 33.2, which is class/rate combos are expanded. Dwarves and stout axe dwarves can get captains and wardens. Elves and high elves can be burglars. Hobbits can be lore masters and champions, and humans can play as rune keepers.
Okay.
Seeing an elf be a burglar.
Burglar.
A burglar.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can see it. I can see it.
I mean, everything else on there makes sense, but
Maybe.
I mean, they've been around for a long enough time. You're like, what's the one thing I haven't done in this
Done.
world?
Yeah,
I haven't
exactly.
burgled.
I haven't
burglar.
burgled. Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
All
Maybe
right.
they're like maybe they're like an emo punk elf. I don't know.
All right. Well, with that, let's find out what we have been doing in and out of game. And McCullough, why don't we start with you?
Oh, okay. In Call of Cthulhu, we had our first failed mission. We were dealing with these time inconsistencies, and we didn't know what was causing them. And we were working with a group of Germans because it was the only way they could go into Peru to find a lost archaeologist. The Peruvian government said, yeah, you can go, but you need to bring Americans with you. And this is June 1930. Now,
Wait a minute. Did
because
you go back in time?
No, sorry, June 1940. Excuse me.
Okay.
Yeah, no, wait, yes, that's at the end of the story. Yes, we certainly did. But the thing was, like, the last thing you remembered was September 1939, and now it's June 1940, and we don't know why.
Right.
So we find this guy. The rest of his expedition is missing. We find his notes. He's completely gone insane. There are signs of sacrifice. There is all this terrifying stuff. We can't find the mask that he was sent to find. So we're trying to trying to get him sane. We're gonna check out this temple the next day, and that night we wake up to just this horrible sound and this horrible feeling of foreboding. And he's out there sacrificing one of the members of the group that came with us.
That's not
By
allowed.
the temple.
That's in the bylaws.
Right. I know, exactly. So of course, we stopped we stopped that. But then we start experiencing, but it's exactly what we saw in our vision at the start of this adventure. Where there's, we see this man sacrificing somebody, then there's gunshot all around, and there's chaos all around, and he's holding a knife, and he's wearing this weird mask, which is the mask, that we know that we're looking for. And it's not quite the name, the Mask of Nyarlathotep, but it's really close. I'm like, really? That's what we're doing? And we found out this is a god of time.
Oh,
so that's what's been affecting us. And this guy, he had lost his wife and child recently, so he was trying to mess with time
of course
to save them.
Yep.
So that's what was caused. So we've actually have kept doing this and doing this and doing this. So that's what caused our missed time zone, our missed timeline. So we stopped the sacrifice, but just like in our vision, one of our party members gets really badly hurt. Also, another one of our party members suffers a bout of madness, and they start running. So our doctor takes care of our wounded party member. We go running after the other party member. Two of us go running after the other party member that went fleeing, which means... Oh, also, while we're trying to stop him, we have gunfire coming from behind us. Also, we don't know where the Germans we're with are at. We have no idea. So we stabilize our hard-boiled detective. We capture the drag queen because that's who went running off. Okay, and she's also our occultist, but she's also our drag queen. And the mask is gone. The Germans have gotten the mask. And of course, they are somehow so far ahead of us now.
Right.
So that's how that part of the adventure ended, is that this is the only one of the artifacts we've lost. Now, in the other group that we have split off into, they got both artifacts. They lost 3 of the 4 members. We lost 3 of the 4 members. But at least, all the artifacts were recovered. So we skip a month, and we are now, so some of the party members go back to America for a while. 2 of us stay in England and just start studying everything we can study.
Right.
And my character literally goes from, the femme fatale. Yeah, she's an archaeologist, but, she's, loves a good time. The femme fatale, likes to have fun, flirts with everybody. She suddenly has become a scholar. She's learning Atlantean. And she's, devoted to the war effort. She finds out that one of her dearest friends has died. He actually died the year before. And then Paris falls, and she is, Paris is her adopted home. So she's a mess.
Right.
And then everybody joins up together, and what's really neat or worrisome is included in the everyone joining up together is our friend James's character from the prior group, who was the only survivor. He is also there. My character from one of our Halloween adventures that took place in the 20s, who's actually the partner of one of our current characters. She's also there. Also on the adventure are 3 other unnamed characters. Basically, we have backups if we die.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, yeah, we have backup
There's
if
going to
we
be some
die.
death. There's going to be
Exactly.
some deaths.
So, we are sent to to Greenland. We were sent to the cold one. We're sent to Greenland, because there is, they know the Noctwolves, which is basically the Nazi version of us. They're an extreme branch of the Thule Society. That tells you how extreme they are. They're after something there. Of course, also including in that group is a lady that Elle has a real big crush on because she likes her women dangerous. But we know that they've gotten there. So we take a basically one of the aeroboats over. We get to this island that they've gone to. And it's clear they're building something. We have the compass that the prior group had gotten, which will basically tell you when you're close to one of the artifacts. And it's, it's pointing right there. They're building something. We see in the middle of this camp, like all these Tesla coils, and there's 8 of them, and all this energy. And of course, it's the summer solstice. And we're in Greenland. So you can see the Aurora Borealis and all the so they are looking for some massive, massive energy.
Right.
And then we realize they let us come in here. There's no security. They're expecting us. So we're
Not
trying
good.
to sneak in, and we see somebody with a mask.
Mm-hmm.
So someone tries to sneak in. He's actually doing quite good. We're trying to get closer to get a good shot in case they find him. I fall down a hill, much like real life. It gets their attention. And then, of course, a firefight breaks out. And then, when somebody gets shot, their blood, stops and then goes into a weird blood tornado. And, so there's all this stuff going on. There's this chaos. And then the tornado, goes all rainbowy. And then the rainbow forms into a bridge. And it's the Bifrost. They were building the Bifrost. And then we find ourselves in the fall of Atlantis. Good thing I just spent the last month learning Atlantean.
Right.
But
Convenient.
because we know that the Nazis were obsessed with, kind of prove they're from the Atlantean race.
Yeah.
And that's what this group is doing. And that's why they needed the mask to open up this gate.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that's what we've been doing there. Yeah, good times. And our other group, or actually it's almost the same group, our Friday night DM, he's had a lot of stuff going on. So our regular Call of Cthulhu DM who plays in that D&D game, he's like, "Oh, I have something. Build characters. It's 1892. What kind of characters? I don't know. Just build somebody." All right. One person builds she is the bearded lady of a circus, but she's disguised as a dandy because she stole a bunch of stuff. One is a young ingenue who's very, very innocent and loves animals. One is a rabbi. One is a bare knuckles fighter, and I'm a madam. We're on a train going from Denver to Salt Lake City. We don't know each other. And then the earthquake of 1892 hits, and now we're in a disaster.
Look, it's the Donner Party. Anyway.
It's exactly really the Donner Party of 5. So yeah, but it's an Eldritch Donner Party because of course something weird is causing it. So yeah, that's we're almost wrapped up with that, but it's been a fairly fun adventure. We've only lost one. But basically it was it was caused by them um, digging in a mine, getting too into the mine, and basically waking up an ancient shadow dragon.
As you do, they
As you
delved
do.
too deep.
Yep,
Mhm.
and it's killed everything, and its little shadow creatures, were out there attacking stuff. So yeah, that's what we've been up to. A bunch of other game stuff too. But that's the two that are the more concrete stories.
Sure. All right.
The ones with the most trouble.
There you go.
Yes.
So, Mew, what have you been up to?
All kinds of stuff. So let's see. I did run through the Hildebrand quest line yet again on an alt because just want to kind of refresh everything and yeah, just reminding myself that it's a great series and it's yeah, it's really well done. It's a nice goofy thing to go on and it's interesting to see them as they kind of almost are parallel to us in the main story.
Mhm.
Until of course they take a break during Shadowbringers. But I do like how they did when they pick things back up.
Yeah.
It was well done, and it even kind of helped explain things a little bit. But
Yeah, and it was
but yeah,
also a good recap if you forgot what happened in the previous expansion.
yeah, yeah, and it was also kind of interesting to see like because I was trying to think back. It's like yeah, they've been in every expansion, right? No, but what happened to Stormblood? Oh,
skipped
that's
it.
right. No, they didn't skip Stormblood. They skipped half of Stormblood.
Right.
They went straight to Kagane. They were
Yes.
like, we don't want to deal with whatever's going on over there with Lisa and all them. No, we're going straight to Kagane. We're going
Yeah.
to where all the fun stuff is.
That's
so.
right.
Yeah, and it makes sense. I mean, the first part of that expansion was essentially in an active war zone,
Yeah.
and
True.
you really don't want a Hildebrand there. Like,
No.
yeah, no, that's wow. That would be
That'd be
that
bad.
would be wow. Yeah. But yeah, no, the gentleman of light reappears, and they explain it all, and even explain why he wasn't around for Shadowbringers. So it's kind of cool. Um, then just trying to, I mean, just spending a lot of time in Final Fantasy. It's been really
There's
easy
a
to stay
lot
in there
to
and not
do.
get. Well, and it's unlike some games it's not easy to get burnt out. Like
No.
it is so varied. There's
Mhm.
no mandatory anything. There's no tedious anything unless you really want to. And if you're into that, great, go for it. But there's no. You just have fun. It's kind of a weird concept to go into the game and enjoy it. It's yeah. And anyway, then yeah, and then as a kind of a because I like to have like two things that I'm doing and kind of bouncing off of. So to help with making sure I don't get burnt out, I've been playing Guild Wars 2, and
Nice.
I never got mounts. So I went through the Path of Fire stuff, or at least the beginning of it, and got my Raptor mount and have been running amok with that thing. So, but I have also learned that I probably shouldn't be soloing as an elementalist because they are extremely gas cannons. I thought glass cannons were bad in WoW. The Guild Wars 2 glass cannon, like they look at you funny, you fall over as an elementalist.
Well, it's not good.
No, and they expect you to apparently do some elemental switching. It's an elementalist. They want you to be using all the elementals. Fire is kind of expected to be like the big damage. Well, they don't expect you to stay there. Like they want you to switch because their gimmick is you switch to fire to water to wind to earth,
Okay.
and it changes like your entire bar or whatever you're doing. And, hi, Beanie, how you doing? So they kind of expect you to switch over to like water is has some healing stuff. Wind is more crowd control. Earth is kind of more protect and slow
Right.
things down, and then fire is when you do the damage. So they want you to basically stance as an elementalist to keep
Okay.
yourself alive, and also run. So
Run.
essentially, yeah. So not only are you having to stance, but you're having to make sure that you stay out of range of whatever's trying to kill you, because for whatever reason, even though they're the same level, they hurt, and it's just weird. So I've been playing also with an engineer to see if maybe the engineer might be a little better, and it's actually
Right.
kind of fun. It feels like they're a bit sturdier, and it's kind of fun to have a shotgun and throw nets at things that slow them down. And if they get too close, you pull out the shotgun and blast them back. So, but maybe I'll make that more of a main instead of the elementalist. But
Mhm.
I think I might have a better time if I can find something that can survive a little better out in the wild, because yeah, it's not fun to die over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, getting the mount was definitely like a game changer, because up until now I had only ever played Guild Wars 2 without a mount, so you're running everywhere,
Right.
and so yeah, it's a totally different game. But yeah, I'm looking forward to unlocking some of the other ones, because I guess there's a dragon, so I can see what WoW is stealing their dragon mounts from. And I guess there's like a weird little beetle that goes super fast, a little beetle bug. And there's some kind of a hopping, there's a frog or a rabbit or something. You can like do super hops to go, super vertical.
Mm.
So it's interesting. It's an interesting way of doing mounts. Like they basically have like it's a mount type, and then you get skins for all the mount
Okay.
types.
That makes sense.
So it's a different setup. Yeah, it's a different setup. Like they make the mounts practical instead of just a way of flying around. Like it makes a lot of sense.
So you can transmog your mounts, essentially.
Yes, essentially, yeah, yeah, and I like it. Like it's kind of funny as I'm in this very Eastern looking like long dragon type raptor mount, and then a plushie starts hopping by, and I'm like, okay, it is this bright neon green like fully made out of plushie mount. So they are definitely very inventive in their mount skins. But yeah, no, it's been fun. It's especially because the zone you get the raptor mount in every now and then they have their public event is a raptor race. So they have you race throughout the whole zone on your raptor, and it's like lots of jumping over stuff and fun stuff like that. So kind of helps you learn how to use the raptor a little better. But yeah, it's been interesting doing some of that stuff. Is Guild Wars 2 has been around for a while, and it's essentially free after you buy the thing. So it's always there to get to, and it's been nice content. But
Cool.
and yeah, that's probably enough out of me. So we should probably see what Tet's been up to.
Hang on. I got visitor coming.
Tet.
Hang on. Let me move the controller. Okay, there we go. All right, fine. There.
So he's been up to Cat.
He's been up to cat. I had to move the controller because I've been so I got all caught up with the 615 stuff in Final Fantasy 14. So I did Tataru's Grand Endeavor. Hey, I got it right the first try. Okay. It's tough because everyone wants to say Tataru's Grand Adventure or something other than Endeavor, but it's Endeavor.
It's she's endeavoring to do things. She's not
Exactly.
adventuring.
We're adventuring because of her endeavoring, but yeah, it's another story. I got the Alpha and Omega story caught up as far as I can tell. To that's current, and
Yeah,
then
there'll be more to come, of course.
Yep, and then I did the Hildebrand because that's honestly that was the first thing I ran into. Like I went looking for the 615 stuff because if it's not the main story quest, it doesn't tell you where to go. So I'm like, well, I'll just go to one of the major cities. And the first thing I stumbled across was the Hildebrand quest, and then I had to go looking for the other stuff. So I got that done. That was really well done. And then I realized that I started the custom deliveries with Emilians. Very fun quest line. I'm loving it so far. And I realized while I was doing that I had not finished up the Studium.
I still need to do that too.
Okay. Emilians is custom deliveries. The Studium is the profession crafting / gathering stories. But they grouped them this time. So instead of being like what 8 and 3, I think it's instead of 8 and 3 stories, there's one for gathering, and then like Goldsmith, Black.
Because there's one guy that only does fishing, and then there's
Right.
another guy that does the other two.
Right, there's fishing, and then there's the mining, herbalism, And then there's the one that does like it's goldsmith, blacksmithing, leatherworking, cloth. There's basically they break it up. So there's a total of five quests. So three crafting, the fishing, and the gathering, I think is how it works out.
Something like that.
Yeah, but I had not finished up two of them because I realized the nice thing is when they do something like that, there's always another quest that goes on top once you complete those quests. And I forgot
Yeah.
about that, so now I'm like, okay, well, while I'm doing the Emelian stuff, now that I'm in crafting mode, let me go take care of that. So I started on that, and got that finished up, and then realized I hadn't started the Arkadoa. How do you say that? Arkadova, the Hippo Riders tribal quest. So I had to
Yeah.
go start that, go to Razadon, and start that whole thing, which is really fun. That's
Oh yeah.
good lord, that's a blast. That whole storyline is amazing. And then I was looking through my reputation because that's where you track the tribal quests is in your reputation, and realized I had not finished up Ratika Greatwood or not Lake.
Dwarfs.
Yeah, the dwarfs are in
Lakeland.
Lakeland. And then I kept looking back. I'm like, because I'd finished the pixies because that was the one you used for leveling everything.
Yep.
Leveling classes, not jobs. And so I'd finished the pixies, but then I realized I hadn't done the other two. So now I'm back to doing those. And if I get, so far I've spaced it out almost to get like 3 the reputation flips, 3, and then I can go do the other 2, and that takes care of my 12 for the day. But occasionally I'll have one more, and then I have to go back to Foundation because I didn't realize that they added a second tribal quest in Foundation once you finished it. So there's one with the dragon, the whelpling, and then there's another one with the professor, or not the professor, the high houses. One for the high houses. So now I've got to get those caught up. But like you said, it's Final Fantasy 14. It's like this leads to this, leads to this, and you go down a rabbit hole, and it's crazy. So I've got all that done. I found out I am still really bad at playing Final Fantasy 14 when it comes to raiding and dungeon. Like the 8-man content, I'm doing the 4 rings of the one where you have to go back in time and investigate why the special area with all the very dangerous creations are escaping. Have you done that?
Oh, you're talking about the current raid tier,
Is that the current?
regular raids. Yeah, the current raid tier.
Because it's 8-person. It's not the 24, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, 24 is alliance rating, and you're talking about normal rating.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm really bad at that. I die I apologize when I get into the raid and go, I'm going to die. And they're like, here, follow this. I said, okay, I'll follow this. Still
I'm gonna
die.
die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
well,
so that's how I raid.
Well, part of it is because I'm barely at the item level needed to get in. And
And
I
that
don't,
actually is important. Yeah. 'cause
yeah,
you
and I
need to
don't have
points.
anything gemmed or materia.
Oh.
I don't have all the
Oh,
materia
yeah,
put
there
in the
you go.
gear. Because I kept flipping over gear, so I was like, well, I'll just hold on to all this stuff and never melded it, and so now I've got to go back and do all that. So
Well, you can unmeld it and use the same
I
piece
know.
in the next piece, right?
I'm squishy, but
Annie.
so yeah, my bard is squishy, but I'm having fun. Like I said, Final Fantasy 14. You go in, tell them you're new, tell them it's your first time in there, tell them you're going to die a lot. They're fine with it. They'll help.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Especially in the normal rates. It's Savage where they might get a little perturbed if you're not fully melded.
Oh no, I wouldn't even go near Savage without actually
you need-
watching videos on stuff. And
Well, you definitely it's definitely a better experience in the static too. That's
oh yeah,
a big
no,
part.
100%. Yeah.
I mean, you can party find it. It's not as good of an experience, honestly.
No. So I did that. So that's kind of my dailies. In fact, I still have to do those for today. I've been kind of doing those daily, and then I was logging into ESO to get the daily rewards, and then realized listening to Raven from Girls Gone WoW and Shantyman, who's in the Girls Gone WoW community, started a podcast called The 10th Divine, and they were talking about stuff they were doing in ESO, and I'm like, oh yeah, I need to finish up Cold Harbor. So I finally finished up Cold Harbor on my Dragon Knight, and then that unlocked the next piece of the main story quest to continue that. But while I was in there, I realized I have both the Fighter Guild and the Mages Guild storylines going, so I've got to finish those. And it's just as good as Final Fantasy 14 for that. I've got all my crafting dailies. By the way, I love there's an add-on for writs. That basically you walk up to the writ board and it pulls all the quests down for you and tells you what you have to do, and then you walk over to the crafting area, click the crafting area, and it will tell you whether or not you have the materials and queue them up so you can make them, and then you just go deliver them. So it's really nice. But yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with that. Been playing Diablo Immortal off and on because regardless of the pay to win aspect of it, it's a fun game. I'm sorry. Regardless of what the pay to win stance is, that's a fun game. It plays well on your phone, on your tablet, even on the computer, although the buttons get stuck sometimes on my mage. I don't know why. But it's a very fun game, and we're having a lot of fun. We do have a guild clan. It's a clan. Yes, clan and war bands. There's an 8-person war band that you can create, but there's a clan. So we have a level 30. You have to be level 30 to join clan. It's the adventuring clan. And then we have the shadow version of it, which starts at 42. And that lasts as a shadow guild for the cycle of the immortals, and then flips back to an adventuring guild, and then you flip it back to a shadow guild for the next cycle. Not a big deal, but we're still getting our feet wet and under all that. So, but again, it's got dailies and stuff to do. I'm having a blast with it. It's a very fun mechanical part of the game if you completely ignore the pay to win stuff. And
even if you pay to win, though, you'll never get it all. Apparently.
Oh no,
Right.
Don't throw any money at it. And the nice thing is, like, if you get behind, like I logged in and I hadn't been playing my Paragon leveled character, because once you get to 60, it switches to Paragon, and it's like because the server level goes up by 2 Paragon levels every day. And that's what they're expecting, that's what they're setting the pace is. So if you fall behind that, they give you extra XP bonus to catch up. And if you're above it, they take away XP to slow you down. So they're trying to keep the community within a range. But I logged in yesterday or today, and I'm like at level 35. I think the Paragon level's like 70 for the server or something. And so the XP bonus is like 260%.
Why?
So yeah, you can catch up easily. But so I've been playing that. But mostly it's been ESO and Final Fantasy 14 is where a lot of my time has been when I'm not poking at Diablo Immortal. So a lot of fun. But I think, unless there's anything else, I think that's going to be our show for tonight.
Oh.
All right. While the chat room begins suggesting show titles, we want to thank you for joining us tonight.
Why, thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you.
And thank you.
Thank you. Mew. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you.
Thank you, chat room.
Thank yous all around. If you have any questions or comments about our show, you can email us at podcast.aie eieguild.org@gmail.com.
I
It's
know.
new.
It's new. It's a pain in the
And
butt, but the other one
Yeah,
wasn't
it
working.
works.
So
Yeah, but hey, this one works. You can also follow us on Twitter. The show itself is at AIE Podcast. I am at the Bucow. Makala is at Cyberwave, and Tetsemi is at Ivory Tiger. We record live with video every other Sunday-ish. You know, we don't skip a day. At about 8 p.m.
holidays.
Eastern. Yeah, it's the holidays. 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, and you can join us in the chat room in Discord. It's also on the website version of things. It's at aie-guild.org/podcast-live-stream if you want to watch us live on that website. The Discord link, if you don't have that already, is aie-guild.info/discord. If you need any past episodes and you want to see our faces, you can go to the YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/c/the AIE podcast. The theme for the show was done by the amazing Andrew Allen. Follow him at Keys with Soul or visit his website, andrewallenmusic.com.
So, man, we don't have any segments this week, but if you do decide that you want to try your hand at making one, we'd love to have it. We ask it to be about, 90 seconds?
yeah, 90 to
Um,
120.
Try that.
Yep. And also, or if you want your podcast kind of promoted, a little snippet of that would be great too as a segment.
All right. And next time, we will be talking to Dr. Gameology, an AIE member who also generates SOTOR content and is deals with psychological studies as well. So he has a very unique set of skills, and he is going to come on and talk about his time in Final Fantasy XIV, the psych panels he's done, Final Fantasy research findings, and his Game of Persona podcast. So until then, AIE, this is Tetsemi,
This is Mucow.
This is Makala.
and this has been the AIE podcast.
Woohoo!
Has been
Yay!
indeed.
Atlassian instead of Atlantean.
Yeah. Its own language.
Yep. All right. And thank you, Tiber, as always, for the show's suggestions. All right. Well, as
Where's
this is-
your mind?
Exactly.
That was actually really funny.
Yeah. So, as is the case, because this is a host show and we get to decide it, we're going to decide it off air.
Oh,
Ooh.
So, thank
Secrets
you.
you'll learn later.
Yep. Thank you, chat room, as always. Look for the show.
Thank
I
you
will
so
get it
much,
out
folks.
tomorrow.
and we promise we'll get back to. Okay, the good thing is we don't have any major holidays coming up. And there's no Mother's Day, Father's Day.
Nope.
When is my birthday fall? No?
It's the 14th is a Sunday, so yeah, that one will probably skip.
I don't know. We might have reservations or something because
Yeah.
I'm turning 50.
Ta-ta-ta.
We'll figure it out.
17,
But
31, 14. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we may do a double leading up to that instead. So we
or
shall
something.
see.
We'll figure something out.
Yep. But until
For you
then,
beautiful people.
thank you, chat
Thank you
room.
guys. We adore you so
chat.
much.
Bye.